Well, good morning, good morning. It's 8:28. We're a couple minutes away from Coffee with Casper. There's coffee. Here's Casper right here. Here's a Casper dog. He's coming up to say hello. He's coming up to say hello. Oh, pardon the face. No, pardon the face. Good morning, everybody. Let me know where you are. Let me know that you can hear me okay. Good morning from Virginia Beach. All right. Nice to see you this morning. Good morning, good morning. Casper is getting bigger and bigger. He's going to go to the bathhouse this week to his first public bath. His first bath with his old pal, Mountain. He's going to go. Mountain's laying over here on the side. We have 1 minute to go before we're going to start with Coffee with Casper. We're glad you're here this morning. Let me know where you are. We'll give you a shout out. We had the guests from Sri Lanka last week. And from Africa the week before. There's Hawaii checking in bright and early in Hawaii. Good morning, good morning. Trust it's a pretty day. Aloha. Very cool. Good morning, good morning. It's Coffee with Casper. Over that. Different glad to see you this morning. New Hampshire people, glad to see you this morning. Good morning, good morning. All righty, we're looking here at timepieces. We got about all caught up. Hollywood. One day it will be Bravo. Good morning, good morning. Well, it's now 8:30, so I'm going to say goodbye to you for a minute. Anybody here? Eating the microphone. Oh no. Oh no. The microphone fell off and Casper was eating the microphone. The microphone fell off and Casper was eating the microphone when he was up on my chest. And that might be the end of that microphone. Oh my goodness, look at that. Well, that's how it is with puppies, eh? That's how it is. But you can hear me now, yes? We can hear you. Can you hear me now? Okay. Let me see if I can turn this other mic off here. Oh my goodness, what happened? What happened? There we go. Can you hear me now? That's it. That's Coffee with Casper. Can you hear me now? Yes. Yay, we're back. Casper, when he was up visiting on my chest, got the microphone and he ate the microphone. Just like that, it happens. That's how it is with puppies. Every day is the best day ever, and he doesn't know he did anything wrong. That's how it goes. All right, folks. Well, delighted to have you. We had a gong. The gong was going to let that breath come up to our heart. We'll give ourselves this 20 minutes. And isn't that a funny start this morning? Oh, well, it's interesting because what we wanted to talk about this morning is the fact that the laws of the universe are given to all alike. So if the puppy knocks down a microphone and it hits the floor, the puppy will eat the microphone because that's what puppies do. And that would be the same with puppies in the United States. It would be the same with puppies in Sri Lanka. It would be the same with puppies in Africa. It would be the same with puppies in the Philippines. The law of the puppy remains the same. Puppies will be puppies. But what we really wanted to talk about today is that the idea that principles are given in wholeness. Every principle is given in wholeness. So that they're not partly given, and they're not given to some and not others. They're given to everybody. So I just wanted to mention a few principles so that we could see the universal nature of God's giving forth of the principles of its own being to its own creation. We are one with that which is source. We are one with that which is the medium through which source moves. And we are one with the experience of source. That's what's happening in our lives. So what we know is there's something called the law of thermodynamics. The law of thermodynamics is simply suggesting that things are integrating and disintegrating. And this entropy, where we don't know where it goes, it stays somewhere. That the sum total of energy and matter are equal and interchangeable, and nothing, no energy ever actually gets lost. Energy just changes form. We look at the law of motion, that things will stay in motion until a force acts against it. This works at every level. It works where there's gravity. It works where there's no gravity. It works in every continent, in every place on the planet, in every pole on the planet. The law of motion remains the same for everybody. The law of gravity is universal on this planet. Everybody on this planet is dealing with and must cooperate with the law of gravity. What we know is that water seeks its own level in accord with its own weight. And that principle, that's why we can use dams, that's why we can control the flow of water, but the principle of water seeking its own level according to its own weight is everywhere present. It isn't a respecter of race, color, creed, nations, locations. Principles are everywhere present. We know there's the law of electricity. The law of electricity can be used creatively to heat your home, to toast your toast, to cool your air conditioning, and the law of electricity can be used in a dangerous way, where it can harm and kill or create fires. And those principles of electricity are not respecters of nations or colors or creeds or boundaries. They're everywhere present. Now, as we go up, when we know that we are spiritual, mental, and physical beings, and as we go up, we see then that the law of karma, which is the law of the circle, the law of giving and receiving, or the law of cause and effect, the law of what goes around comes around, this law is equal and equally distributed to everybody, whether you're conscious of it or not. The law of vibration, like birds of a feather flock together, like vibration attracts like vibration, that law is consistent. If you are into violence and unrest and blame and guilt, then you will attract people who are into violence and unrest and blame and guilt. If you are into love and joy and peace, you will attract others who are seeking love and joy and peace. The law of the wave. The law of creation is based on waves. Things have peaks and valleys, and God loves waves. We see that God's creation, in terms of quantum science, is based on waves. Everything starts as a wave before it can become form. Waves become particles, particles become molecules, molecules become elements, and creation happens through waves. Waves are everywhere present, and the law of the wave is everywhere present for everyone. The law of harmony, meaning that which is eternal that which is life-giving and life-enhancing, is where life always moves toward. Life is always moving toward more life. And this law is everywhere present. So the one who is creating, or whose vibration, whose consciousness is creating more life, will attract more life. And that's why we love that affirmation, good and more good is mine. Everywhere I go, I see this good, I feel this good. It crowds itself against me, it multiplies itself around me, it flows through me, yes? And it touches everyone. So when I begin to use these other laws, they're all given equally. The law of cyberspace, for example, when I was born, there was no cyberspace. Cyberspace didn't exist. However, as the intelligence of humanity began to figure out the potential of cyberspace, everything we can use about cyberspace increases as our understanding of cyberspace increases, including knowing that cyberspace can be used positively and cyberspace can be used negatively. That the potential of cyberspace is given because the law itself is given in its entirety, yes? So we are looking today, when you're watching Coffee with Casper, we like to thank the thousands of people who are tuning in, and we encourage you, remember the purpose of this is to help people become more conscious of their spirituality, more conscious of their okayness in the world, that their wellness behind their fears and doubts is already given, and that we can draw from those patterns of wholeness and perfection in the physical body once we know that they are there, that we are born in a pattern of perfection, that the full potential of life belongs to all souls, and how much of that potential we can use depends on where we're placing our attention. What we think about comes about, what we focus on becomes our experience. These things are the natural laws given in entirety. So here on Coffee with Casper, the purpose is to heal, to uplift, to inspire, and to encourage us, each one of us, to be adding a good vibration, a healthy vibration, by means of allowing our cup to be full. We allow our cup to be full so that we are coming from a place of well-being, a place of confidence, a place of faith, a place of inspiration, a place of joy. And the more we do that, the more we're able to spread that good vibration. There's something on the internet called Laughter is Contagious. This was done many years ago, 10 or 12 years ago. A body of scientists gathered to see what happens when people begin to connect in joy. And what we find is that joy is contagious. Now, I would go further and say that not only is joy contagious, not only is laughter contagious, but love is contagious, joy is contagious, peace is contagious. These qualities of the eternal, which are always present, are where life is moving toward. When we block it, we temporarily block it, and then it moves out of the way, and then, or we change our mind or whatever, and then we return to the flow of these natural qualities, of these eternal qualities, love and joy and wisdom and peace and harmony and freedom and belonging, yeah? So all of these things are already given. So on this, the reason we encourage you to share this broadcast, if you get something that reminds you of who you are, or reminds you of your capacity to change your circumstance by changing your thinking and therefore changing your attitude, the attitude will definitely affect your altitude. How much joy you are having, how much enlightenment you're having is a function of how much light you are bringing into the world, yes? We are each bringing more light, more love, more joy, more wisdom, and the more we do that, our vibration rises, and then we attract, according to the law, equal vibration. All these laws are already present. They're not given in part, they're given in full. So we here on this program, we are not seeking, meaning Casper and me and all of you, we're not seeking to force anybody to change their mind. We're not forcing anybody to believe anything. We are simply offering universal principles that belong to all people, that have already been given, and that many people do not know how to operate or how to use or how to align with them. How to use all of these laws and principles in a way, because they're already given in full, and each one of us has the capacity to use them at the highest possible level, but that level is going to be according to the level of our consciousness, which is the law of consciousness. According to your consciousness, so shall be your experience, yes? And we say, well, how do I get this higher vibration, or how do I rise up? And we remind you that this idea has been around for at least 150 years that we've been conscious of it, that our thinking creates our experience. As we have talked about before, the greatest discovery of this or any generation is that human beings can change their experience by changing their attitude of mind. Well, how do you change an attitude? An attitude is a sum total. It's a filter through which we are seeing things, yes? Almost like we were having glasses, and you could put on glasses where you can see clearly, or you can put on glasses that are dark, or you could put on glasses to change the color. But the glasses become the filter, or the way that we are seeing things in the world, and that's what an attitude is. It becomes the filter, or the way you are seeing things in the world, yes? So the way one works on an attitude is one thought at a time. You know, that we talked about this idea of we are guided like a light unto our feet, a foot lamp, right? Well, in the olden days, those foot lamps, that was before flashlights, they were oil lights that were put on the shoe with a candle, the wind block, so that you could see where you were putting your foot. One step at a time, you could see, even in the darkness, by means of a foot lamp, you could see where to put your foot. And the way the universe works with us is by guiding us in this moment now, by guiding us in this moment now. And so when we are feeling down or frightened or afraid, it is I love that old Hertz rental car commercial. So let Hertz put you in the driver's seat today. So hopefully what we're doing today is reminding you that you are in the driver's seat. You are in the driver's seat of your own thinking. And when we go into negativity and fear and doubt, what we call stinking thinking, when we go downward with our thought, we are moving in that direction by following that thought. And then conversely, when we go upward with our thought, when we know there's a solution, when we know that we are not alone, that this presence, this I am presence that is who and what I am, the true and eternal nature of myself, is guiding me, protecting me, leading me, then we are tuning into that guidance, and that guidance shows up like a lamp unto our feet, where we know exactly what our next step is, exactly what our next step is. I was working with my friend and technical advisor, Ian, yesterday, and one of the things that crossed my path was those subconscious, those puzzles where you see the first word, when there's a bunch of words embedded and you can see the first word. And one of the words that I saw was motion, and the other word that I saw was relaxation. Well, as we were working together about how to help this show, and now all of the recordings of this show, become more accessible and more available, they are on my Facebook page now, but we found a way, and we're working on it now, to move them onto my YouTube page so that we have a way of making it more accessible to more people. That was motion. I've been waiting for that idea of what to do next to be a beneficial presence in this challenging time. And why does one seek to be a beneficial presence? It's like, why does one seek to be a place of love in the universe? Because your nature is love. The more you love, the more love you have. The more love you give out, the more love you attract. When we decide that we want to be a beneficial presence, we're simply saying, I am receiving this gift of life. I love the breath of life in me. I love the breath of life in me. Everybody take a breath and say, I love the breath of life in me. Yes, I love the breath of life in me. So the more we start practicing that love, one thought at a time, the more we turn away from the negative thoughts, the negative vibrations, the confrontations, the lack of inclusion, the separation that's happening everywhere, the more we move toward inclusion, the more we move toward unconditional love, love given freely, without demands, without expectations, the more buoyant we become, the more we attract those exact qualities that we begin to think about. So that's how we move. We don't, it would be wonderful, the experience in the human condition of illumination is known about, the famous one of Ralph Waldo Emerson walking across the commons at Harvard, and all of a sudden the light came upon him. And this could happen, that like spontaneously all of a sudden you become enlightened and you see things as they really are. But for most of us, it's happening incrementally by means of where we're putting our attention, by the means of the way that we're seeking to live this day, to take this day as a sacred opportunity, to take this day as something special, to make this day filled with meaning and joy and love in your life. This is the day, one thought at a time, that you ask on high to be guided, guarded, protected, and directed, and then you act knowing that in fact you are. That you are open to the greater good, you're open to deeper love, you're open to be an avenue through which you personally are a beneficial presence, through which you are increasing the vibration on the planet, through which you are bringing forth a healing energy for yourself and those around you. Now imagine when we get all of the light workers on the world, and we figure there's some 140 million. Now there are billions of people on the planet, but we figure there's about 140 million conscious light workers, and this show is meant for you to remember, to empower yourself, and to step forward in this day as a gift from God, like a light unto my feet. This day is going to reveal a greater good, a deeper love, a more profound good, open me to new opportunities, new abundance, and new possibilities. That's how it's going to work, because we are practicing that way. And just like that, 20 minutes is behind us. We hope that you have some ideas that are helping you to be more joyous and more alive and more awake in this day. We hope you have not hope, I'm going to go beyond hope. I'm knowing you're going to have a fabulous week. Your consciousness is growing, and we'll be together next week on Coffee with Casper, probably with a brand new microphone. It's been my honor and pleasure to be with you in this day. Until we meet again, we invite you to go in the light, as the light, and with the light. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. Bye for now.